So, what if I told you that you can cook okra without adding any water at all? This is because okra has moisture of over 80%, meaning they produce more water when cooked. The recipe we use includes tomatoes, which are made up of 90% water as well. Instead of boiling, we also use the steaming method to enhance that authentic okra flavor. Steaming extracts water from okra and keeps more nutrients. Welcome back to Jaicies Creations, and let's get into how to cook the sweetest okra, which is also known as Umulembwe, Derere, Okro, or however it's called in your part of the world. Please let me know in the comments section. To start with, you're going to need only four ingredients to make this okra. The first one is to have a handful of fresh and tender okra. I would suggest picking out the hard okra and using it for something like okra water or other recipes instead of throwing the hard okra away. You also need one large or two medium tomatoes which are ripe and juicy. You can be quite generous with the tomato because it's all about the tomato. That's where the water is going to come from. You need a pinch of salt, less than a quarter of a teaspoon. You also need a pinch of bicarbonate of soda. So that's just less than a quarter of teaspoon as well. It just depends on how you prefer um, the okra to turn out. You can also add a bit of chili or hot pepper if you prefer. For the equipment, you will need a knife and a chopping board for cutting, a saucepan or a pot with a lid for the steaming process. You need a cooking stick or a spatula, preferably a wooden one, for stirring the okra. Avoid using metal, especially if you're using a non-stick pot. You also need a teaspoon for measuring the dry ingredients. For best results, you need to pick soft and tender okra. You can check this by snapping the tip of the okra. The okra should snap without any struggle. Hard okra doesn't always break easily. There are more tips like this at the end of the video. So first things first, wash the okra and tomatoes thoroughly. Cut the okra in preferred shape. Different styles, either circular, slanted, or diced. You can cut the okra one at a time or three to four bundled together using a chopping board. You need to cut the tomatoes in small pieces. This will help to break down quicker and blend with the okra. Once all the ingredients are cut up and set out, we are ready to go. Place the tomatoes first in the saucepan. This is where the secret lies. Putting the tomatoes first will allow the water to drain and maintain the flavor. Add a pinch of salt and soda. Add okra and put a lid on the saucepan. Place the hob or the cooker on low to medium heat. You need to stay in the kitchen and monitor the okra because it produces a lot of bubbles or foam which will rise up and can overspill if not monitored. The next step is to simmer the okra until you see the steam bubbles on the lid or you can hear the okra bubbling away. Remember, we are steaming the okra and not boiling. Overcooking can kill the nutrients. You need to keep an eye on the saucepan. You will see that the okra will turn greener and have a yellowy color from the soda. And you also need to stir regularly so that the okra does not stick to the bottom of the saucepan. Um, just a caution, the more you stir or beat the okra, the more it will break out of its original shape. That's if you care about the aesthetics. At this stage, the okra is almost ready, depending on how you enjoy your okra. I'll just give you a few tips about steamed okra. So you need to keep checking and stirring the okra until it's ready. You can tell that the okra is ready once the tomatoes have smashed and blended with the okra. The bubbles will also reduce and the color of the okra will get a bit yellow and a bit darker. The okra can be served with Nshima, Saza, pap, gari, or any swallow of your choice. The okra also goes well with beans, meat, sausage, or fish of your choice. And most importantly, it needs to be enjoyed. For this meal, we chose to have okra with sausage, green vegetables, and Nshima, which was made from finger millet flour mixed with a bit of cassava flour. So, this is the simple way of making steamed okra without adding any water with only 4 ingredients. You can go ahead and try this recipe or make it your own by adding chilies or onions if you like. Let us know in the comment section what you think and if this is something that you will be trying out.